Okay, so when I first made this YouTube account, I thought I was going to make a lot more videos, but as it turned out, I wasn't as knowledgeable as I may have thought at that time, and I was a lot lost. I was very lost. Um, but I think I have something that could help people, and that is I'm going to talk about dreams a little bit because that's something that I've always dealt with my entire life. I've always had very vivid dreams, and just sometimes wake up knowing things that I didn't know before. Um, so yeah, basically, I just wanted to make this because they can be scary. They can be unexplainable, and sometimes if you're like me and you have very vivid dreams and out of body experiences and stuff like that, you might not know what to do with it because it's very profound. And I used to wake up and be so out of it. My friends would come over and they'd wake me up from a nap, and I literally would not be here. I would be awake physically, but somewhere else mentally, and spiritually. Just I wouldn't know what's going on. Very very spacey and stuff like that. And it's not really a way to live. And I used to fall asleep all the time too. I don't know if that has to do with the dreaming thing, but definitely can be used to your advantage to learn more about your dreams and how to control that kind of stuff. So, um, so you can, if you are someone that has very vivid dreams, whether they're nightmares or good dreams, or you just feel things like out of body experiences, that's always how my dreams are. And typically, people apparently that's something people try to get to when they're learning about intuition and astral projection and stuff like that. But I grew up doing that my entire life, and first of all, never knew what I was doing, how I was doing it, or like the consequences of it until that started happening. So I'll talk a little bit about that later. But anyway, if you are someone that you think you have vivid dreams and it might help you to delve into them a little bit and find out what they're trying to tell you, definitely start off with keeping a dream journal. That's what this is. Um, well, actually, that's like my third one, but it's definitely helped me like immensely. Whether it's little details or just feelings, anything you can remember at all. If there's random people, you may not know why. Things literally may not make any sense. It might jump from you like making a pie to you floating around over the ocean and then swimming with dolphins, or like literally anything. Trust me, I've seen it and been there, all of it. It's the weirdest things. So any kind of just like if you felt scared, if you felt alone, if you felt free, any kind of feeling or emotion, definitely write that down, or anything that you felt, not just like emotionally, mentally, but like physically as well. Like sometimes, you if you have dreams where you're with animals and you're petting an animal, like you can write you felt the animal's fur, or like something. It's hard to really get into it because my dreams are so vivid that I don't really kind of explaining them would be a little much, I would say. But anything that like feels right to you or something that stands out from your dream, make sure I would jot those down right away, like key points. Maybe you remember being with your grandma in a dream, and then you remember being at school, and then you remember having an argument with someone. Like those are the things that stood out to you. Write those down right away, and then after you write those down, you can get into more detail. Like what were you and your grandma talking about? Were you happy? Was the feeling kind of sad? Was there dread? Um, and then when you were at school, why were you at school? Were you learning? Were you just hanging out? Is there some kind of weird feeling that is lingering from school that needs to be dealt with? That type of thing. That's getting a little further down the line. But definitely start off with the key points, the things that stick out to you. Write them down as soon as you wake up. You want to keep your dream journal next to your bed. I keep mine. My pillows are like really messed up right now. And yes, this is a pillow pet. Keep it like right under here usually. So that way when I wake up, I can just like have my pen in there, I literally just write it down. Sometimes it'll be even in the dark and you can't even read half. You can read it, but it's really floppy, which is fine as long as you can read it. So write down those key points right away. Sometimes I wake up and I'm still not completely here, and my spiritual body is somewhere else, and that's when I write down those key points, and then I go back to sleep because my dream's usually not over yet. Um, so that may happen as well. Um, so once you start doing this, it could be hard to start remembering dreams, but chances are if you're vivid dreaming and lucid dreaming and stuff like that, you probably remember them a lot because, yeah, you wouldn't know you were doing it otherwise. But if you want to like make that connection stronger and do it more often, definitely set an intention before you go to bed and tell yourself, I'm going to remember my dreams, and like ask for assistance from whatever you believe in, um, for dreams that will help you in some way, or just start off with just remembering them at all, because yeah. Um, and if you have problems like sleeping or whatever, like I had used to have a lot of nightmares and stuff, and I started lighting incense and definitely asking for some protection and stuff once I go to bed, because then you're unconscious, and that's when a lot of stuff from your subconscious like to come out and draw that energy that you might not otherwise be consciously projecting. So yeah, that's a good way to start remembering your dreams. And then once you do that, that's when you can really, go back and take a look at what you've written down. You may start seeing a lot of patterns. That's definitely common. And a lot of symbolism and stuff like that, things that repeatedly come up in dreams. Or sometimes it could be something random. You might not know why this person keeps coming up in your dream, but the more and more it's happening, you maybe are drawn to them for some reason, and then it sometimes just clicks. For me now, that's how it is. Um, so yeah. I also want to talk about nightmares. I hope I haven't been taking too long. Okay, nightmares. Well, I've always had vivid dreams, and nightmares were definitely always part of that. Sometimes I would have amazing dreams and never want to wake up because they were so amazing, and I was so happy and in this place that just there was no problems and it was beautiful. Sometimes I would literally feel myself falling to like the depths of hell or whatever you want to call it, and those were terrifying. And I would wake up like my heart racing, or sometimes I'd feel like I couldn't breathe when I woke up. I thought I've had near-death experiences in dreams like countless amounts of times. I can't even count. So you're not alone in that. That is happening. That's a thing. Um, what I've gotten from that is that since I am very in touch with the spiritual world and like sensitive to that kind of energy, or to energies in general, that apparently what I'm told is that you're like a lighthouse if you're sensitive to spiritual or energy in general. Sensitivity, spirits can tell when you're sensitive and they feed on that. So you're basically like a lighthouse in the dark kind of thing. And that is what can cause nightmares if you're not sure how to deal with it. So I was always astral projecting and all this stuff in my dreams and stuff. And then I started, I noticed a lot of nightmares coming up. And basically, there are ways to protect yourself from that. So, same thing, you want to set an intention when you go to bed if you're having a lot of nightmares. Like, kind of just ask for that negativity to be cleared out of wherever you're sleeping, if it's your bedroom most likely, or just out of your space. You want your space to be light and clear and good and full of positive energy when you go to bed. And you never want to go to bed when you're upset. I know it's like hard, but if you can meditate and try to get that negative energy to leave your body, to leave your aura, that is definitely best, because any kind of negative energy or something that's left within you is going to come up, most likely. So the other thing is, mostly with nightmares, I would, if they're bad enough, get help, because that's what I did. And talking about it in therapy was definitely, it brought up a lot of things, and once I was able to clear some of my inner blocks, um, it helped me to just uh, be more clear about life and everything in general, and that negative energy that I once was holding deep down within me that I didn't even know about is now gone, and therefore I am attracting the negative energy less when I'm unconscious. It still happens sometimes. I can't tell you exactly why. Excuse me, I'm cold. Um, but definitely my dreams mostly now are positive and good and almost like prophetic and crazy and cool. So it definitely pays off to do this work. If you can't seek within yourself to find all your inner blocks and your weaknesses and your downfalls, I guess, most people can't do that on their own, because even after I saw my therapist, I had to talk to my boyfriend and I cried. And it brings up everything you have ever felt. If you haven't let yourself feel that before, like say you were anytime you were ever upset or any negative feeling you ever had that you suppressed, um, if you are really trying to clear out your energy blocks, it'll come up, and it's very, very overwhelming, and you'll have tons of negative thoughts that you can tell are not yours, but they're there anyway, and the more you ignore them, that's how you got in the problem in the first place. So just accepting those negative feelings and then letting them go, that's probably the best way to get rid of these nightmares and start having good dreams that help you. And also, don't be afraid, because I know I was afraid. I mean, you have to let yourself be afraid if you are, but at the same time, don't let it eat you alive, because I used to have these nightmares where, and I've had like talked to similar people who've had similar nightmares where it's just like this dark figure, or I'd wake up and during nightmares and I would see this dark figure like there in my room, and my nightmares are always take place in my room, so it's like happening around me. Um, I really think that I do attract like spirits around me, and that's why that happens and all that. But um, so I used to have these dreams. I literally thought I was dying all the time, and I would like something was like eating me alive and like sucking out my energy and just like everything within me. And I thought I was gonna die, and like it was terrifying. I'd wake up, whatever. But one day my friend told me like she told me and sat me down. She basically held me while I had to fall asleep, and told me to tell that hooded figure that it does not own me, that it does not own me, sorry. It doesn't own me, and I want it to be gone, and then also ask for help from wherever you believe in will help you, in getting rid of that negative energy and just telling it to leave you alone, basically. And, sticking up for yourself. And once I started doing that, they started getting the dreams were just way less bad. Like I was less afraid. I was less afraid to go to sleep because I had drawn the line. And even though it still happened, even in the dreams, I was able to get myself out of them instead of being stuck down with this hooded figure. Um, so that's that. I'm trying to think if there's more about. There's so much I can get into with dreams, but um, if you're a nightmare person, it definitely pays off to get the help you need to get past those nightmares, or learn to deal with them, I should say, because you'll probably still have them. If you're remembering your dreams, you're bound to have a nightmare sometime, and learning how to cope with that and learn from it is what's really important. Um, so then once like that happens, there's a very, very good possibility that you will have good dreams and dreams that make you happy, and you'll wake up feeling just refreshed, and you will like be clear about everything, just clarity about life in general. A problem that you once had before you took this nap may not seem like a problem anymore once you wake up, and it's kind of just like your subconscious thinks of things that you don't consciously think of when you're awake, and it helps solve the problems that are going on in your head or that you may think are going on. So, yeah. I think that is about it. Uh, yeah. Um, if you have any questions or anything like that, especially with the nightmare stuff, because I know that can be really terrifying, but I also know that that means you have a gift and you are powerful and something within you is wanting to tell you something, and you should try your best to access it if you believe you're ready and you're fed up with your nightmares and you're fed up with being confused and not knowing why this is happening to you. Definitely start looking within yourself more and find a good therapist, not like a psychiatrist or someone who is going to just like give you meds and tell you you're crazy for seeing and feeling things, because those things are valid. And I am lucky enough to have found this amazing psychotherapist who does a lot of mind and body work where the mind and the body are connected and they're one. And I've told him things that I feel like a regular psychiatrist would probably put me in a psych ward for, maybe. I don't know. But if I wasn't able to tell him those deepest, darkest feelings or thoughts, more like, that I was having, if I wasn't ever able to tell him those deep, deep, dark thoughts that I was having and let it out once and for all, then they would have stayed with me and I would have always had them. And I can honestly say that after I've let that go, my dreams have been better, my life's been better. I felt less stuck and more like I'm moving forward. Um, so, I mean, this video is about a lot more than just dreams, because my dreams affected. I mean, they still affect my life like pretty profoundly because they're so strong sometimes. And once you can get a grasp on that and start to understand your dreams more, you will start to understand yourself more. You'll start to understand life more. You'll be less afraid of whatever fears you once had, once you can dwell into and pinpoint what those fears are. And a lot of times your dreams will help you do that. So, I know it's kind of all over the place, but I really hope it helps. Um, yep, comment all that junk, and I will talk to you guys later. Peace.